Hi there, this is your instructor Firdaus Shahri. Today's our lecture is innovation and change. So let's get started. So the contents of today's lecture are organizational innovation, managing innovation, what is organizational change, and managing change. What is organization change? The successful implementation of creative ideas in the organization. And what is creativity? It is a production of novel ideas, the new ideas, or the useful ideas. Organizational change is a difference in the form, in the quality or condition of an organization over time. Organizational change could be of any form. The change could be in a timetable. The change could be in the schedule. The change may be in the behavior of the workers. The change could be in the working conditions, the material, and so on. Technology cycle, it begins with the birth of a new technology and it ends when that technology reaches its limits and is replaced by a newest, substantially better technology. The best example is the Samsung pagers that in 90s, thus 30 years back, we used to have the Samsung pagers that was used for sending and receiving messages. It just gives you a beep sound that gives an indication that you receive a message. But now we have mobile phones. We don't need Samsung pages anymore. VCRs, floppy disk, these are totally out of the market because these VCR floppy disk are being replaced with the USB, the computer USB, and so on. Innovation streams, these are the patterns of innovations over time that can create sustainable competitive advantage. Technology discontinuity, as the name says, that the technology become discontinued. We stop purchasing those products or those products that technology has gone obsolete. Now, it is a phase of innovation stream in which a specific, advanced, or unique combination existing technology creates a significant breakthrough in performance or function. Now, the best example is the medical facilities, the brain surgery to remove the tumor. Now, the doctors suggest that they do not do it anymore because they don't have to go to major surgeries when they are going to remove the tumor because now they have the facilities of MRI and CT scans that can be used to remove the tumors with more precision and lesser physical trauma. The another example is the laser treatment for eyes and so on. Technological substitution, the purchase of new technologies to replace the older ones. Typewriters, we don't need any typewriters because we have the computers now, we have the laptops. Windows 7 is replaced with a Windows 10. So every 1 year, 2 years, there is a new software and we upgrade our systems with the new softwares. So we can say that the older technology is being substituted with the advanced and the new technologies. Discontinued changes, they are characterized by technological substitution and design competition. So what are the technological substitution? It occurs when the customer purchase new technologies and they replace the older technologies. I'll already give you examples of the typewriters, they are replaced with the computers. Pagers are replaced by the cell phones. Design competition, it is a competition between old and new technologies to establish a new technological standard or dominant design. And the dominant design could be defined as a new technological design or process that becomes the acceptable market standards. Technological lockout is the ability of a company to completely sell its products because it relied on old technology and non-dominant design. So they have to get rid of all those products where the technology has become completely obsolete. Incremental change is the phase of the technology cycle in which the company is innovated by lowering cost and removing the functioning and performances of the dominant technological design. Now, the best example is that during the technology cycle, the Intel cut the cost of their chip by one half or two-thirds while doubling or tripling their speed. So that is the incremental change in their performances. Managing innovation. How the organization is supposed to manage innovations. So manager must be equally good at managing innovation in two different circumstances. Number one is during the discontinuous change, companies must find the way to anticipate and survive the technological changes that can suddenly transform industry leaders into the losers. They must follow the risk of quick organizational decline and dissolutions. For example, the BlackBerry cell phones, all other mobile phone companies, they were introducing the cameras in their phone that in 90s, but BlackBerry, they did not accept new technologies. So BlackBerry mobile phones, they are now completely out of the market. Now, after a new dominant design emerges following discontinuous change, companies must manage the very different process of incremental improvement and innovation. So whenever there is a new technology into the market, the companies or organizations, they have to engage in the incremental changes, or otherwise they are going to lose the race. Creative work environment. So there are six components, there are six ways that organizations may follow to make their environment more and more creative. So the workplace culture in which workers perceive that new ideas are welcomed, valued, and encouraged. Now, what is a flow? It is a psychological state of effortness in which you become completely absorbed in what you are doing and time seems to pass quickly. So now we are going to discuss the six components. So number one component is challenging work. It requires efforts, demands attention and focus, and is perceived as important to others in the organization. Organizational encouragement occurs when the management encourages risk-taking, they encourage new ideas, they support and fairly evaluate new ideas of the organization throughout the different parts of the organizations. So when the workers and employees, they come up with the new ideas, and if the new ideas are being welcomed, they are being evaluated, they are being honored, so the organization can bring new and they can create more working environments. So they can create the environment. Now, number three is the supervisory encouragement. It occurs when the supervisors provide clear goals to their workers, encourage open interaction with their subordinates or their workers, and actively support teamwork and ideas. The subordinates, if they feel that they are being supported by their boss, if they're being supported by their managers or supervisors, they become more creative, and that's how they are encouraged to work hard. Work group encouragement occurs when a group members have diverse experience, education, and backgrounds, and the group fosters mutual openness to ideas, positive and share commitments to ideas. So it is not only that the workers become more motivated, they are more encouraged when they have the support of the management. They even become more motivated and encouraged when they feel that their colleagues and their group members also encourage them. Freedom means that the organizations should give some space to their workers. So it means give them some autonomy over day-to-day work, and the workers, they should be given a sense of ownership and control their ideas. Example is the Philips Electronics. They foster freedom to their workers because they believe if they give freedom, if they give space to their workers can become more creative. Lack of organization impediments. Companies may have to remove the impediments to creativity from their work, from their environment, from their conflicts, power struggle, and management can discourage creativity. So impediment means there may be some limitations that may stop a good change in the organization. So all those limitations that may stop a good change must be eliminated. Now, how the organization is supposed to manage innovation? There are five aspects, or we can say there are five ways to manage innovation. But before I explain different approaches, what is experimental approach innovation? It assumes a highly uncertain environment, and it is flexible options and hands-on experience to reduce uncertainty and accelerate learning and understanding. We all know that every organization, they are being surrounded by uncertain situations. Although we can have the best forecasting, but still we are being surrounded by uncertain situations. So what is number one aspect to manage innovation? That is called design intonation. It is a cycle of repetition in which company tests a prototype of a new product or service, improves on the design, and then builds and tests the improved product or prototypes. Prototype is just the sample of the product that is being produced as a sample. So before the product is being gone into the mass production, the organization, they make the prototype, and the prototype is inspected whether the product has any flaws, if they have any weaknesses, so they can do the corrective actions. And then we have number two, that is called product prototype. It is a full-scale working model that is being tested for and function and reliability. Testing is what? It is a systematic comparison of different product designs or interactions. They test a series of different types of prototypes. So it is not only that organizers come up with one kind of a sample or one kind of a prototype. It is always advisable that they can have as many prototypes as possible. So there are more chances that they can have the good quality product. Milestones are the formal project review points used to assess progress and performance of the organization. Company, they may set 6 months or 1 year program or plan to complete their projects. The multifunction teams, they are the teams composed of people from different departments. The best example is the Ford company. They rely on the multifunctional teams that they design the hybrid cars, particularly called the SUVs. They run on a battery and they also run on a gas. What is organizational change? Change means deviating from routine activities. So organizations bring a change so that they can have good performances. So, but again, it is very hard to accept a change. Business operate in constantly changing environment. So adapting to the internal and external changes can mean the difference between continued success and going out of the business. So what does organization decline means? It is a large decrease in organizational performance that occurs when companies do not anticipate, recognize, or adopt the internal and external pressure that threaten their survival. The best example is the BlackBerry cell phones, because they did not anticipate a change in the mobile industry, so they are totally out of the market. Output control, the regulation of workers' results through rewards and incentives. So how can we control the output? How can the organization control the performance of their workers? By giving them rewards, by giving them incentives, appreciation letters, month of the, or we can say employee of the month, and so on. Now there are 5 stages of organizational declines. Number 1 is blinded stage. It begins because the key managers, they fail to recognize the internal and external changes that harm their organizations. It may be due to the simple unawareness, because they may be unaware about the change in organization, in the market. They don't know that there is new practices coming up into the market. They are just simply unaware. Example is the Bunny New York clothing store. They grew rapidly, but became bankrupt due to the overconfidence. And then we have interaction change. Organization problems become more visible, and management may need to recognize the change. They know they need to change, but still they don't take any action. Faulty action, it is a stage with rising costs and decreasing profits. Management decide to cut costs, but these actions may taken too late. In other words, we can say the management, they know that there is a time to bring a change. They take actions, but they have taken the wrong actions, or so-called the faulty actions. Number 4 is the crisis stage. Now it is a bankruptcy or resolutions, breaking into the company, signing its parts, unless the company completely recognizes the way it does the business. So that is the crisis, number 4. And the last stage is the resolution stage. Now after failing to make the changes needed to make the organization, so the company dissolve into bankruptcy, and they may process by selling the assets or by paying to the suppliers, to the banks and the creditors. Now, what is the change? How can we manage change? Organization changes. So change forces produce differences in the form, quality, or condition of organization over time. Organizations, they resist to change because they are having a fear of unknown. They don't know that what if they're going to have new positions, if they're going to have new changes, what if they fail? So organizations, they have a fear of accepting change. And this is one of the reasons that they resist changes. So what are the resistance forces? These are the existing stages of condition in organizations. People resist change, and they start because they fear that change will cause or deprive them of something they value. Now, Kurt Lewin has given the three ways of managing the change. Unfreezing, getting the people affected by the change to believe that change is needed, or unfreezing means making the people aware that there is a time to bring a change, creating awareness among the organizations that there is a need, there is a time to need a change. Number two is called change intervention. It is a process used to get the workers to manage the change of behavior and work and practice. Or number two stage is bringing change, implementing change. And number three, refreezing means locking the change, supporting and reinforcing the new changes that the workers, they have to stick with. I hope you enjoy my lecture. Thank you for listening.